Yo, welcome to another episode of Unpredictable Thoughts Podcast. Your boy Trouble's in the building, doing the damn thing solo dolo. It's a fine, beautiful Sunday bum day. I want to give a shout out to Hennessy White because that's what we drinking on. I mean, it ain't nighttime. I was gonna say Hennessy White, we drinking it all night, but it's daytime. So shout out to all my day drinkers out there. The Sunday brunches. Yeah, thank y'all for listening to episode 55, Designer Agent with Maya. Hopefully y'all got some real estate tips on that, to that nature. Hopefully, what the fuck else we talk about that episode? Yeah, we talked about some other stuff, but yeah, shout out to her. I'm gonna have her on again on another episode. And then what else is going on in the world, y'all? I really don't know. It's still May? So what we got? Military Appreciation Month. We got Lupus Awareness Month. I heard it's Stroke Awareness Month as well.
And I think it's Mental Health Awareness Month too.
Mental Health Awareness.
They
as
said
well.
we gonna pack May with everything.
Damn, that's
So
crazy.
we can distract y'all.
hey, what's the distraction? What do you think it is?
I'm just talking.
Oh,
I'm just talking.
But-
Because they think we can't pay attention to more than one thing at a time.
But there's so many. First of all, where all these awareness months come from? They weren't popping in 95, 96. So
I don't know. We should look it up.
yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we're becoming aware of this.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe we should spread certain months, certain things out.
Apparently, it's a lot of things going on every month. There's like a month for everything, apparently. I'm not exactly sure what the other ones are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left-handed awareness month.
Stop.
Pinky toe awareness.
Wow, okay. But then okay.
Natural hair awareness month.
There should be.
Oh, speak on it.
I mean, obviously, I have natural hair, so it definitely should be.
Yeah.
It's very unappreciated out here in these streets. It's getting better,
Yeah.
but we still haven't turned the corner I want to see yet.
I've noticed the women that I am attracted to are all natural hair women. So.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
black man.
Hey,
Okay, black
salute
man.
me. Salute me, but yeah, it's crazy with all these awareness months. I mean, I'm not trying to knock them. Of course,
Yeah.
we need to learn about them.
Definitely.
Hey, I just need to know a month in advance which one we talking about.
I mean, I do my best to promote the ones I know that I feel like are affecting people that I know or affecting me. But yeah, I probably don't know as many as I should.
True.
For sure.
I mean, I've been promoting, if y'all follow the Unpredictable Thoughts Instagram page, I've been promoting Lupus Awareness Month, something that I ain't know nothing about. So, I mean, I'm doing my research on it, come to find out, when I start posting them,
Yeah.
people were reaching out to me like, hey, thank you for sharing this. I have it. And
Yep.
I'm like, I know you for years.
Right.
And not to say like, just because you know somebody, you got to be like, yo, what's up? I got lupus.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, for me, I literally, it has become, it is just as much a part of my identity as me being black, as me being a woman, as me being Christian, as me being, I feel like it's so much a part of who I am because I have to deal with it every day. But because it's an invisible illness, something you can't really see, the only time you see it is if somebody has like a butterfly rash, you might see that. Yeah. But outside of that, you really can't see it. Mm-hmm. So it's an internal illness, very much so, which is so easy to hide it if it doesn't get out of control. If it gets out of control, you end up in the hospital. Those are the two extremes. Either you're okay and you're dealing with it with medicine or whatever and you're controlling your flares, or you're in the hospital.
Now, before we go deeper into this.
I know, right? They're like, who is this girl?
Yeah,
Who is she?
Yeah, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, y'all. Hey, friends. It is Kiana Cole. I am an educator. I dance here and there, and I also have I have lupus, and I have a vlog called Kickin with Key. So, hey, thanks for having me.
Now, I do got some crazy listeners. Please explain the type of dance you do.
Definitely. Okay. Hey, okay, y'all.
And you got Southern accent, so
Let's run. I do. I'm from Arkansas
don't know if you be
originally.
at Onyx or um, the House of the Lord.
If
Which
you
one?
got it, flaunt it. Anyway, the House of the Lord is where I am, but I also do a lot of different types of dancing. I've been dancing for a really long time. It's one of my passions. So if I wasn't in the classroom every day, I would definitely be a choreographer, probably.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Bam, got it. So like you heard, it's Kiana or Miss Cole if you are in the classroom. So, but yeah, I want to kind of talk about lupus because when we first, cause we met like at a black professional event.
It was professional. It was, what was it called? Must Love Beards. That's what it was.
I don't have no beard, but
I mean, it doesn't matter because obviously the event was very popping that day.
it really was.
We had a good time though. It was nice. It was nice. Yeah.
It's young black professional crowd. I knew it was young black professional.
Yeah, it was
crowd.
nice. It was a nice crowd. Yeah.
When women had to pay $40 to get in, I said, ooh.
This woman did not, but yes. I don't even know how much. I don't know how much the ticket cost because one of my friends literally hit me up and was like, "Do you want to go to this?" And I love her to death, and we don't get to hang out as much as we would like to. So I was like, "Yeah, girl,
Yeah.
I'm meeting you at your house, and and I'll see you Saturday or whatever." And so we go, and she tells me the premise for the event. She's like, "Yeah, like they kind of are remixing it where women are paying and men are not." And I was like, "Okay, that means that there'll be a lot of men there." That's great. Like, so it was cool though.
I thought it was a gay event at first.
Did you really?
I swear to God, I did. Because I guess I was still, well, it's not I guess. I was still in that, maybe in a sense, old school mindset to where it was like, what woman is paying to get in?
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I just feel like that's a misconception. If we
Yeah.
want to go somewhere, we'll pay for it.
got it.
I feel that way, especially
Yeah.
the people I'm around. I'm not expecting anybody to do that for me. Like like the whole get in free thing. I don't even know like that. That's like a thing, but it's not really a thing like people think it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's a place like after 11, they charge guys, maybe like that.
Yeah.
Like Marvin's on U Street. Like that's kind of how they do it. But a lot of places, either y'all all get in free or. Unless it's a club, and I don't really go out to clubs like that. So
Yeah, me
yeah.
either.
Yeah, and I pay for my drink. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, I feel like people have a misconception about women, especially men. They just don't, they think that we, and some are. Like, I'm not saying that it's not a thing, but it's not a thing for me, really.
Yeah.
I think, if I want to go somewhere, I pay for it. If I want a drink, I buy it. If you offer, I might let you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, I don't know. My homegirl had to talk me into it, and then I was like, I go. It's free.
See?
I wasn't doing
And a
anything.
blessing came out of it. Look at
There
that.
we go, networking. So I was like, okay. And then I started looking at the women around, and I was like, okay, these are like top echelon right here.
Whoa.
Like this is like.
Thank you so much for putting me in that category.
There
I
you
really
go.
appreciate it.
Because it's like these are women you don't play no games with at all.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
how my friend just introduced me to somebody at her happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, she don't take no sh-. And I was like, oh, is that what we're, okay, cool. I'll go with it. I was like, I don't. You're right. I kind of kept the face because she said it. So I was like, you're right. I don't take nothing. None of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening. But yeah.
Disagreed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I like the event. I want to do, because I used to go to events like that in Atlanta a lot. or
Oh,
whatnot.
nice.
So, I mean, I'm just trying to find them out here in the
Yeah.
Baltimore, D.C. area. Cause,
I feel
I mean,
you.
I like a little ratchetness, but ratchet ain't
Everything's
righteousness.
everything's a balance.
There we go. Gotta have that goddamn balance. Gotta have a balance.
Emphasis on balance.
There we go. Balance in the building. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, so anybody that listens to the podcast, if you know, like, in the young black professional crowd, the ones that's out here really making moves, hey, let me know. Hit me up on the Instagram, Facebook, whatever you can find me at. And
He
hey.
said emphasis on upper echelon women. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Black and educated, baby. I love my entrepreneurs, too. I'm not trying to shit on them as well. So, hey, let's do it. But before we get off topic, or we was already off topic, Lupus Awareness Month.
It is.
So I've been, like I said earlier, I've been posting about it, learning it myself. I seen that earlier. You said something about like the butterfly thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's called butterfly rash.
Yeah, I heard that's like, I heard the butterfly is the mascot, but also it was like a wolf.
I've actually never heard about the wolf. Tell me more.
Hold on, y'all
Never
have
heard
to
about the
bear with
wolf.
me on this
I
one because
never heard about the wolf. I mean, it could very well be true. I've only seen the butterfly as the mascot.
Okay, hold on. I put it on the IG. The butterfly makes a good mascot because of the butterfly-shaped rash that often appears on the face of many lupus patients, and that is a hallmark sign of lupus. However, many have suggested a wolf as a mascot for lupus since that is where the term lupus actually comes from. The lupus connection to the canine name stems from the shape of the circular rashes on the skin of lupus patients. Often they are similar to the shape of appearance of a wolf bite. Hence, the term lupus has always been commonly describe this autoimmune illness.
Got you.
Yeah.
It's interesting because that's actually not been a regular symptom of mine. Yeah, like the rashes per se, like I've been blessed not to really have those unless I like skip out on my regular like skin regimen. Like I use a facial scrub.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I don't use it regularly, then I start to see like a hint of something there, a hint of something there. But outside of that, I don't really get the butterfly rashes. I have like other symptoms that are common, but the one that everybody always talks about, that's the one that I really don't have. Lord willing, okay, because I don't want it. But yeah.
When did you first find out? How was that? And
Man,
what age?
I was 17. I was 17.
Is that a
and
common age or?
for it's unfortunately there's actually like research that shows that young black women are being diagnosed at the highest rates, and it's a growing number of black women that are being diagnosed
Do we know
with
why?
lupus. Why does everything fall on black people, period? Like the disease and like, why?
Yeah.
I don't really know for sure why this demographic is the group of people that is like that growing number. I'm not sure because I'm not like the way that you're supposed to technically get the disease. I don't have any of the, So for example, I'll explain. So two of the ways they say you can get it, it's a certain like medicine that you could have a reaction to. Never had that medicine. I can't think of the name of it right now, but there's a certain medicine that if you have a reaction to it, you might end up, having the symptoms of lupus and then it forming into the actual disease. But then there's also a familial aspect. Nobody in my family has it. And
Like through DNA, that's what you mean.
like, yeah, you can get it biologically or whatever.
Yeah.
But nobody in my family that I know of has it. So even my mom's been tested for it. 'Cause she's had like a couple symptoms that we were like, we should go get that checked out. She gets it checked out, multiple tests. They tell her no, nothing. I'm the only one. And so, because we started asking, we were like, so is there something we supposed to know? Cancer runs in my family. But
Yeah, that's prominent in every black family.
Lord, and we can talk about why that is too. But anyway, but yeah, nobody else has it. So I'm not sure exactly why I have it, but I just feel like I need to share the story. So yeah, I found out I was 17, 2 weeks before my 18th birthday. Yeah, I was supposed to go to a choir thing. I was singing in an a cappella choir in high school, and we had a performance that day.
Hit a few notes.
Don't do that. I'm not warmed up, guys. But yeah, we were getting ready to go to some kind of, I think it was like a regional competition or something. Just something like, it's a smaller version of what the bigger competitions turn into.
Okay.
And that day, earlier in the day, my mom took me to the clinic because like I was having severe joint pain. Like she was having to help me do a lot of stuff. Like I'm 17, you ain't dressing me. That's not what we're doing at 17. But she was helping me do pretty much everything. She was helping me get in the tub. She was helping me do everything, and it was starting to get kind of crazy. So I was like, well, maybe because my family, my grandmother had arthritis. So I was like, well, maybe that's what it is. I was like, maybe I can get my little 17-year-old self talking about maybe I can go get a shot and it would just be done. Not like liquor, y'all. Yeah. But like I can go to the doctor. They, hit me with a needle and I'm gonna be fine. Because obviously
like steroids or something.
Yeah, because I was an active girl. Like I was busy, I danced, I was in a band, and I mean like a black marching band, so we were working hard. And so I was like, I couldn't bring myself to believe that something would have been wrong with me for real because I thought I was otherwise very healthy. Mm-hmm. I had no reason to believe anything was wrong with me other than that moment where that was happening. And then I found out that they thought I had it. And then they were like, you need to go to a rheumatologist, which is where they send you for autoimmune diseases like this one. And so I went and they were like, you definitely have it. And like it was, you could only find out through blood tests. It's something about your white blood cells being overactive or something like that. Because it's an autoimmune. That means your immune system fights itself. Oh, wow. So it destroys healthy cells. It destroys unhealthy cells. It just destroys everything. Or I won't say destroys. It's
like you be in the mirror.
But it's just like, basically, yeah.
Like you drunk in the mirror, like, bitch, and you trying to fight yourself.
Yeah, you be like, pew, 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 pew. Now I got you. Pew, pew. Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah. And basically you telling your body, chill. It's okay. We all right. We're safe. But, that's basically it. And when I found out, of course, I missed the competition that day because I was like,
yeah, you can't go.
Who's singing through this? Not me. And I remember my cousin saying, I went to church, maybe like, next Sunday or whatever. And my cousin said, you have lupus, but it doesn't have you.
Ooh,
and I took that from that day forward and said, you know what? You're right. And I was already committed to Howard. I already had a scholarship. I was already going. And I remember
Howard University.
Ooh. I was already committed and going there. And I found this out later because I committed to them in December. And I found this out in March. And I remember a girl from my school saying, who was supposed to be my friend, she was like, as soon as I walked out of the room, she told somebody, how's she going to go to Howard sick? Because people don't leave Arkansas. That's why she said it.
What part of Arkansas?
Pine Bluff, the blackest part.
Pine Bluff. It sounds black.
It is. I love my city, though. Love my city, for sure. But, yeah. She's like, yeah, you know what? She going to Howard sick? And then, of course, it got back to me, and I was like, you don't know my God. And I just went on about my business.
Yeah, cut it
and
off.
Look at me.
Since that.
Hey, 3 years out of college. What you talking about?
Dang, you probably still haven't talked to her since then, huh?
Nope. She still reaches out, though.
I
I respond because I'm respectful.
Yeah.
And I still show love, but like, we're not friends.
So just keep it cordial type of vibe.
Yeah, because we're not friends. If you can say something like that at the hardest part of my young life, yeah, you need to. I was already mature, though. I was just over the foolishness. I was going to college. I had stuff to do.
Do you think it's because of her miseducation on it?
I honestly think it was just a moment of, and I hate this phrase because I really don't be like, people jealous of me, but like,
ignorance.
It was a moment of jealousy because a lot of people chose to stay in Arkansas because they didn't do the work to get out. Because it's easy to go to school. I won't say it's easy to go to school in Arkansas, but it's easy to be like, well, I'll go to school in my hometown or I'll go to school right outside the city or something because it's not a big move. You literally just got to get in your car and you can drive to your college. Mm-hmm. Me, every time I go back home to Arkansas, I'm hopping on 2 flights because there's not a straight flight from here to Pine Bluff.
How far is that from Tuskegee?
From Alabama?
Yeah.
It depends on what part.
Okay.
Tuskegee, I'm not sure because I've never actually gone from Pine Bluff to Tuskegee. But from Mobile, Alabama to Pine Bluff is like 8 hours, I think.
Damn! You said 8?
I think so. My cousins are from there. So
what about Little Rock?
Little Rock is 45 minutes from me.
Okay.
At the most. Like, I literally would, like, hop in my car and drive up there to, like, shop and then go back home. So, like, it's really close. But yeah.
From your time of being diagnosed with lupus and growing older, have you done like was it like a geographical research to see if lupus is just prevalent within that area?
Actually, no, I haven't. A lot of my journey has been really introspective versus like, you know, more like, oh, let me find out who has it or whatever. Like I would share, like slowly share my story. And I want to get to a point where I'm like reaching out to people and kind of getting them, which is why I want to put myself out there. Like I have lupus. This is my story. Yeah. So 2 of my episodes from the past, well, actually one of them from the past was like my lupus story. And then the one for tomorrow that comes out tomorrow is about lupus too, because every year in May I try to do one episode that's just about lupus.
Yeah, that's why I asked you if you were willing to discuss this, on the platform, because it's like,
can be weird, right?
Yeah, it can be weird for people, and it's just like someone else has it, and I feel as though as you get older, as you kind of realize through life, and I said this on the last podcast as well. I said, when you start learning about life, you learn that you're a servant to other individuals.
Absolutely.
So it's like...
it's the rent you pay for living here.
Yes, it is.
Who said that? MLK? Who said that? Oh, no. Gosh, that's a quote. It is. I'm sorry, ancestors. I should know that.
So being a servant to other people is also telling your stories.
Absolutely.
Of your trials and tribulations. So I do want to salute you for...
Thank you so much.
coming on the platform and saying it, but also you've been on your own Kicking It with Key YouTube page saying it, talking about it. So
I have.
I salute to you on that.
Thank you so much.
So is it like, so you said it's been introspective versus out? So has it been like from the research you've done, have you gotten any of the common symptoms?
Yeah, I have. So I think one of the ones that's like pretty much everybody that has lupus is fatigue, because it tires you out, and it's not like a normal tire. It's not like, oh, I'm tired from work. It's like I'm so tired I need to sleep.
Like a pregnancy tire?
Never been pregnant, don't know. But boom, thank God. Yeah. Yeah, it's more like I described it like this to somebody the other day. It's like lay down and then put like something heavy on top of you. Okay. And then try to get up. It's like that. It's exactly like that actually. And think of something like, don't put you can't put like a couch on top of you, but like something heavy that you can lift, but to lift it you would have to do a nice amount of work.
All your might,
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And so sometimes when I'm getting ready to go to work, that is the feeling I have. And I have to decide, okay, is it one of those extreme days where I need to ask them, can I be at home? Or is this one of those things where it's like, I need to give myself a few more minutes than I usually would to get ready because I'm going to be moving a lot slower. So I have to make really quick decisions in the morning about, am I feeling well enough to make it up 3 flights of stairs because my class is on the 3rd floor. Damn. We don't have an elevator, and somebody should do something about that. I'm just saying. But
how many floors y'all have?
3.
I think you can't have an elevator until you hit 4.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Give or take. I may be wrong.
Literally, there are 3 floors, and they're like, and it's not like. Beside the point, we need an elevator because we take stuff up and down the stairs all day. But I have to make quick decisions about my health and going to work and I hate to miss because I teach babies and they need me every day. So, but yeah, it's like something on top of you, weighing you down. So I have that symptom. I have joint pain, which is the first one I found out. That was the very first one, and I've had chest pains, which I was hospitalized for when I was in college. The first time I found out about that symptom, I was like, oh, no. I was walking up the hill, and if anybody been to Howard, those hills at Howard are crazy. So I was walking up the hill, and I got up to the top, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. It was like sharp. I was like, I ain't never felt this before. And it was like this whole side. And after I went to class like a crazy person and sat through class with that pain. And then I came out, and I was like, I can't breathe. And so I called one of my friends. She borrowed somebody's car. like, she was like, girl, I don't even know if it has gas, but we going to the hospital regardless. And she took me to the hospital.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was in there for a week. Yep. And then I had 2 weeks of bed rest after that, so I missed a lot of class.
And you solo, no
But
family. You had friends.
Yeah. I mean, and my mom knew not like a couple, but they lived out like Fort Washington or something like that. And but they're like, I don't really know them. Like my mom knew them from like a long time ago or whatever, and she doesn't even talk to them very often. So it's like one of those things where like
kind of weird.
Yeah, but she hit them up and was just like, at least can you go check on her real quick? And of course they did. And then every year after that, they would just hit me up, and say like, how you doing or whatever. But yeah, I don't have any like no family here. I've just made great friends.
Hey, it's that college life.
Because by the whole time I was in the hospital, nobody left me by myself. And also just a segue, if you ever get hospitalized, you need to have somebody in the room with you 100% of the time, especially if they knock you out with some type of medication. Don't be in the hospital room by yourself because you can't, especially when you're not coherent. You need to know exactly what they're giving you. You need to know how much they're giving you. You need to know when they gave it to you. You need to know when they're taking blood. You need to know everything because it's not safe. It's not safe. You got to be careful.
Damn, I just be taking shit for granted. You
got to know all that. And it's not because the medical industry, I mean, they got a lot of problems. Not because you just should be leery and like, the medical industry is so terrible. Just because you need to know what's going on with your body. You got to know. And if you don't know, they can tell you or give you anything, because just like teaching is a practice and you learn and get better every day, being a doctor is a practice.
Medical malpractice.
And sometimes in their practice, there's some things that happen, especially when they're working with a young black woman. And most people that know a lot of stuff about lupus, they're only testing white people. Like, it's not like the majority of the tests that people do to see if these prescription drugs are safe for human beings, they do trials and things on people that are not necessarily our demographic, so that it may have different reactions to their bodies. So you just gotta be careful. So that's why I'm trying to go the holistic route. Not there yet though.
Okay, so I want to ask you, since you say you was diagnosed at 17, and you're at the age you at now.
We 25.
Okay, I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to.
No, I just don't want my students to know how old I am, because
but yeah, so you're 25 now, 17 to 25. What year was like maybe like your hardest year of like having lupus, and you're like, damn, this really got me?
Maybe 20 for sure.
Okay.
20.
Was that when you were in the hospital? And
20 sucked. Man.
Is that now as you get older, is that based on dieting, how much you drink and all that stuff?
It's funny because I asked the doctors that, because I have lots of questions when I go to the doctor. Because I'm like, because I used to be a lot more quiet. I would go in there and just listen to what they had to say because I didn't know enough. But now that I'm knowing more about my body, how I respond to things, I asked them, like, so if I change, like are there dietary restrictions to this thing I'm, dealing with, as I go through this life? Should I be eating this or not eating this? And they really didn't have anything concrete. That's how I know that nobody's really like researching it as heavily as they should. Because you telling me there is nothing in my diet I can change to make this better? That's not true. Can't be, because there have to be foods that cause inflammation sometimes.
Correct.
Like, there are foods that do that. And part of my problem in my joints is inflammation. Now, I'm not saying I always eat like I should, but I will say that I'm not wilding because I know better.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't really say. So it's kind of like one of those things where I do a lot of my own personal research in addition to my mother, who's amazing. She is becoming a guru, because she literally, anytime she hears any little thing, she's like researching. And I'm not talking about like one little page. I'm talking about she looking up 10 different things to see if they all match, and then telling me, like, think about this.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to have a mom that cares and can be like that. When I'm at work teaching, she's like, on her lunch break looking up stuff about lupus. which is pretty cool.
I looked up. Well, I seen the headline today. Nick Cannon said that smoking marijuana helps.
You know,
Oh, you got your cup on that one, huh?
yeah, I gotta give my. I actually have never had weed before.
Oh wow.
But I have looked into recently medicinal marijuana. I've kind of looked at it a little bit. So I'm not completely opposed to it. I also have to be careful though, because like if I was gonna do it, it would probably end up being something like an oil that I put on the outside, like CBD or something like that, or what else? What else do they have? Like edibles or something, because inhaling anything, I'm nervous about that because I have chest stuff already. And they don't know if it's a lung thing or they haven't really figured out exactly what it is. But I've had it for a while and I really don't want to aggravate it. Okay. But I'm not opposed to it. I used to be an anti-weed person.
Me too.
When I was younger. But then I got older and I just realized people painted it out to be this like evil thing.
Well,
like
the government did.
This drug. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we
The
were
government painted it out to be that way,
you
though.
know, so I was like, I don't want to do that. And a lot of people that I knew that were smoking were overdoing it and not doing anything else. And like, it was just a perception thing. It really wasn't like a weed is bad thing, but it was like from what I'm seeing in my vantage point, from my vantage point, oh yeah, I ain't doing that because I ain't got time for this.
I mean, it's just like alcohol in a sense. Not to say that alcohol
No, you're
cures
right.
things, but
No, definitely doesn't.
you will.
It causes things, but
Yeah,
it
causes things, but it's like, yo, you got some people that just do it casually, and then you got some people, casually, socially.
Yeah.
You got some people that OD with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's anything with life.
Everything.
That's foods too.
Well, I won't say everything in moderation, but most things in moderation.
Yeah.
For sure. But I thought about it, and I am looking
Sex,
into
drugs,
the process.
alcohol. Yeah. It's all. Yeah,
All the vices.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking into it because I'm not completely opposed to it. If it could take me off of prescription drugs for life, call me high all day. Because what? And also, like, as you move around the space of education, you are not technically supposed to be ingesting anything. Technically.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of people don't know, dude, but that's not my business. Yeah. But like I said, I've never actually had it, but I've heard
You're
that
not opposed to it. Though.
I'm not opposed to it.
Yes.
If
It's
it
your
helps,
health.
if it helps me medically and I can prove that I need it, then I'm
Why
cool
not?
with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever really do it recreationally, but you know.
Yeah. So, one of my last questions was for lupus. A lot of people don't know, like, there's no cure for it. So it's like a forever thing. So, like, if you listen to what I said earlier, she lived with it from 17 to 25 or whatnot. So there's no cure in it. I said it's a forever thing with symptoms, doubts leaving, or having lupus forever. Lupus survivor. I don't even know what the hell I was going with that.
Honey, even when you can't understand your notes,
Yeah.
I do understand that.
Yeah.
I start reading stuff and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to the past Kiana because I don't know what I was trying to say.
Going.
But yeah, it's a forever thing. But I have thoughts and feelings that go towards like we gotta find a cure in my lifetime.
Has it gotten better as you've gotten older? Of cutting
I won't
things
say
out?
lupus has gotten better. I've gotten better.
Yeah. Have you gotten better as far
I've gotten
as
better.
mitigating it? The flare-ups?
It's unfortunately, I get like in a groove, and then I'll have a big off day, like a big off day, and it doesn't really have anything to do with something I did. It's so unpredictable, and it shows up so differently in people. That's why it's like a long list of symptoms because you have to list all of the. Well, you don't have to, but they're listing a lot of the symptoms that a lot of people have, and everybody doesn't have all of them. You may have 2. She may have 5. She may have another 2. You know, it's just like really unpredictable. And I think that's the hardest part about curing the disease because it manifests itself in so many different ways. Like I remember I went through a period with no eyebrows because it just decided it
Are you
was
serious?
no hair. Like, you know what I mean? I still had hair on my head, but it took literally no, I completely took them away while I was in college. People
As a-
didn't know because guess what? Took that pencil was fire that year. Let me tell you that. Nobody
Grizzly-
knew.
That
Smart.
that's dope as hell.
But yeah, it just does random weird stuff. Sometimes I'm just like, should I write this down? Because this has to be a manifestation of lupus. But I'm like, what is this? But yeah,
If you could tell someone that has lupus one thing, what would you tell them?
the world needs your story.
Ooh.
Period. That's it.
And for those that don't have it, what would you tell them?
Learn more.
Yeah.
Ask questions, and pop up on those friends that have it. Because I am a very self-sufficient person. Very independent. So I deal with my stuff internally a lot of the time when it comes to like my illness. So pop up on those friends and just see if they're good. If they go missing for a few days and you usually talk to them at this time, or they may not be feeling well. And they may actually need somebody to step up and be like, you know what? Like, I'll go to the store for you today. Don't worry yourself about that. Yeah, that's what I think.
Got it. Hey, that's like we said, Lupus Awareness Month, people. Make sure y'all do your research. And if you have been following my posts on Instagram, I think I put it on Facebook as well. Maybe, I don't know. Posting
It's
so
so
hard
much.
for
Oh my
me.
gosh.
So I did say for each purchase of all my merchandise, all the merchandise on the Unpredictable Thoughts website, you will get a Lupus Awareness pin. And then at the end of the month, I will be donating to the Lupus Foundations of America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do your part. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm trying my best. So hey, yeah, everybody got lupus. Hey, I salute y'all. Stay strong, people. I know it's hard. I can only talk to you about it. I can't
I know.
I understand, because y'all go through so many. You know.
You can't empathize, but you can sympathize.
Ooh,
So
I like
I appreciate all of it.
Yeah,
I
so
do.
I try to educate myself as much as possible. So
And you educating other people. The people you're reaching, I don't know them.
True. don't
So
even know
I
them.
appreciate it. And now they're thinking about lupus.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll reach out to me and say, "Hey, can we meet up and talk about it? Can we, whatever." So
Yeah, I just found out at the age of 28, my one of my aunts has lupus, and I'm like, dang, I never knew.
yeah.
And been around her a lot. It was just,
Tell you, I went to that walk and about cried because I'd never seen that many people that not believed in it, but like that were ready to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They were ready to be out there, ready to support, ready to love on people who have it. Like I had never seen. And it's not because people in my life aren't loving, but because it's such a quiet thing. A lot of people just do not talk about it.
do you think people not talking about it, that's why it hasn't gotten the monetary funds for the
Definitely.
research?
Definitely. It doesn't affect the right people. That's what I think.
Ooh.
But we're
We
not.
gotta talk about it. Hey, hit him with the shoulders.
Listen, I already told y'all the highest demographic of people who are being diagnosed at high rates are young black women.
Who's second?
I don't know.
Oh.
But I saw me and I was like, And the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. So
It is.
I mean, I'm not surprised that they're not doing a lot of, but it also, it's one of those things where like, yeah, there may be a lot of people with it, but, the prescription drug industry is very strong. It's very strong. And I take a nice amount of medication daily to be regular. So.
I was going to ask you this, 'cause it popped in my head. You could choose not to answer, of course, or you could choose to finesse it. But how many pills do you take a day for your thing, for lupus?
And I wouldn't say none of them are for pain.
Okay.
Well, it's about reducing inflammation, or none of them are completely taken away. By the way, you
Okay.
still have like a little bit of like this hurts, or a little bit of like that, even when you take your
It
meds.
minimalizes the pain.
Only, it's there to keep you at bay, not really like to completely do anything about it. But So I take about 6 pills, maybe.
Wow.
And it used to be less than that, but then I got more symptoms, and so you need another. You need this medication for that. You need this medication for that. Which is why I'm slowly going the holistic route. Like I really want to.
Have you seen the difference between like when you started doing more holistic stuff?
I mean, it's such a slow process. I really don't know yet.
Plus, you gotta get your body acclimated.
Yeah,
Acclimated. It
because
takes about like 3 weeks.
your body goes into a little bit of shock when you're off of medication that you've been on for a while.
Yeah.
By the way, it's the worst comparison. But like when you get almost addicted to something, like your body is used to it. It's like breaking a habit. You have to break a habit, so you have to taper it off. You can't be like, I'm gonna stop cold turkey. Oh, we're gonna be sick and you're gonna be in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like usually that's how it goes. But if you maybe take off this and take off this, take off this. But I want to see a holistic doctor before I just jump in there and stop taking all my pills. And then the next thing you know, I'm texting you saying, come see me in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because I'm just doing what I want to do now.
Oh God.
So I'm gonna be thoughtful about it. That's the plan.
Yeah, thoughtful research and all that good
All
stuff.
that good stuff.
Yeah.
All of that. Because I'm really not trying to just be out here. I got stuff to do. I still have plans. Lupus not stopping me.
Now you got kids to teach.
Kids to teach.
This young future.
People to affect and
Yeah.
love on. Lupus not gonna get in my way.
Yeah. So what inspired you to start teaching? And
Man.
why?
I wanted to teach since I was itty bitty. Like I was literally setting up a classroom at home and telling people, sit down, sit down. Today we're gonna learn this. I mean, as a little something. Switching around the house. Let me go get these pencils for him and her. Like all that. So I'm really not sure at what point, but I can tell you this. The moment where I was like, I'm definitely teaching and I'm definitely good at it was when I was going to the Boys and Girls Club in Pine Bluff. So shout out to the Boys and Girls Club and Mr. Britt. Because Mr. Britt, he put me in a position, I don't want to say over my peers, but to support and mentor my peers in 6th grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he had me working with people my age and basically helping them with stuff around the building, with homework, with the younger kids that were there, and I did that up until high school. And then I was very sure. I was like, I'm definitely gonna be a teacher, and I did everything along my journey to prepare me to be a teacher. So I did all the internships, all the volunteer opportunities that I could to prepare to be a teacher, and then I majored in elementary education at Howard. So I knew. And I felt like I've always connected with children very easily. I walk into a store and kids are like staring at me.
I get that too.
They like look and they're just like, and it's not like she's just, somebody I don't know. It's like I'll go with you.
Like gravitating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like they'll look at me and the moment I look back and I like wave or something,
It's
they're
a
like,
smile.
they are tickled pink and leaving their parents. I'm like, no, we can't do that because in this day and age, they don't think I'm trying to take you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
So I knew. I was like, yeah, I'm good at this. It's a natural thing, too. It's just not like, now I work hard at teaching, but my natural ability to connect with children, it's not a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
So so you said you went to Howard. So why Howard and not none of the HBUs in the South?
That's actually a really good question.
You got Tuskegee, you got Albany State. I think Albany State is known for their teaching, either known for their teaching or nursing program.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you got HBCUs in the South.
Of course I did. Yeah. So I grew up in, like I told y'all, I grew up in Arkansas.
Pine Bluff.
Listen, it was out here. But I think, so I had a great teacher in the 10th grade who took us on a college tour to places like Harvard and Boston and she, like a few other places that were like places I would never see if I was still at home or whatever. And she also took us to Howard University.
Oh, wow.
That was the only like black, college that was like that she was going to take us to on the, she wanted us to see Ivy Leagues because in the South we really weren't seeing those. And so while we were there, something in me said, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I would have never even visited Howard had it not been for Maddie P. Collins, who was my 10th grade world history teacher. AP world history.
Check you out.
So I think, yeah. And then also, after learning more about Howard, I just feel like that was where I was supposed to be. Definitely where I'm supposed to be. I grew up around the HBCU. I grew up around the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And my grandfather and my great-grandfather had been the chancellor, which is the equivalent to a president.
Oh, wow.
So I knew HBCUs. Like, a lot of people's story when they went to Howard was like, yeah, I was the only white, black kid in my class, and I was so happy to get around people who I could identify with, and da-da-da. Me, on the other hand, I was around us all the time.
Yeah. So
it made sense for me to just continue to do that. Because I feel like we are diverse. People try to act like we're not. When I went to Howard, people were different. It was lots of different kinds of people.
Different.
It was let me tell you, it was a lot of different types of people. So I just felt like that was a good place for me. I researched it. They offered me a scholarship when I applied, and I took it. And I was like, it's time. It's time for me.
Did you pledge?
I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you I was really independent. Like, I did a lot of other stuff. Like, I was president of school education for a while, and then I was in a freshman leadership academy, which afforded me the opportunity to get out of this country for a little bit and go to China.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my freshman year. I ain't know nothing. Talking about going to China. A black woman in China? What? And I had a baby fro at the time. I chopped my hair off my freshman year. I was like, time to go natural. I fell back in love with being black all over again. Being black and being African. Because I really feel like I felt the connection. Like, being African American, I felt a true connection. Like, Howard is all about you actually knowing your roots. Like, really trying to find out where your family is and really trying to find out what you can learn about the motherland. Like,
but what about, that's crazy because, like, being in the South is like, the South is very family oriented.
it is.
Like,
grandmother,
great grandfather, like, you know your family tree versus the North to where it's
but the thing is, I think in the South, I got a good heavy dose of being African American. I knew Black history as far as, like the segregation era, like the civil rights, like I knew all of that good stuff, and I knew my family as far back as like great somebody. But what I'm interested in now at this point in my life, and when I went to Howard, is to see where beyond. Like, I used to work for Children's Defense Fund Freedom Schools, and one of our facilitators used to always say, you want to know your farthest back ancestor. Like, I really want to know that.
Yeah.
That as far back as I can reach or know or learn, that's what I want to know.
Yeah. Shout out to Mom Dukes. She does our family tree. I think we're in like either the 1700s or the 1800s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mama.
Yeah. So she does that because, like, I swear, when it comes to family, like, growing up as I got older.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you, like, going to North Carolina because that's where our roots are at. Like, I remember you when you were such and such. I just look, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. My mother had to tell me, so I kind of just let her do that.
Yeah. And I mean, we are super family oriented. You're talking about family reunion every year.
Yeah.
I see my family annually, and then if not more, because Christmases are a big deal. Thanksgiving's a big deal. Like, so it's very family oriented, but it's about, I think it was like, for me, I was like, I really want to go to Howard, number one, because I really am independent and wanted to explore that part of myself. And so leaving Arkansas and going that far away, I had the ability to be, away.
Yeah.
And to learn who I am as an adult away from the people that take care of me. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was a good experience. It grew me up.
Yeah, that's
shoot,
important.
that girl was good. I had to do stuff I never thought of. The Metro, We ain't got no metro in Arkansas. Well, we don't have we don't have no metro in
Pine
Arkansas.
Bluff.
Palm definitely not in Pine Bluff at all. We have a metro. So I was like, what is this? Underground and I was like, it's dirty. And I was just so like, and I'm claustrophobic. So the first time I got on, I was like, hold my hand. I ain't got time for this.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was just a good experience to show me that what I thought I can do way more than that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And that gave me a lot of confidence about other things.
And then you kind of go back home and you're around. You probably meet up with like certain individuals or like certain friends or whatnot.
Yeah.
And they just kind of have this mind state, and you're like, "Yo, the world is so much bigger than this. Why are we still doing this?"
I think everybody should leave home for a little while.
Yeah.
Just a little while. You gotta leave
I
forever.
like the goddamn country.
You. My dad's in the military, so
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
So it's
Yeah.
like when it comes to certain things, I'm like, why? Why are we doing this?
Why we even talking about this?
Yeah.
Like, we're not beyond this yet? Cool. Okay.
Exactly.
But yes, I feel like it just grew me up, and I think it was funny because when the first time I went back home, it's funny you said you meet up with people that look at you, they looked at me like I was a ghost.
Yeah.
They stared like I was in Walmart. And they were like people I like went to high school with. I'm like, we were together every day. Stop.
Because you have different attire. You got that DC, Maryland attire.
I was
on
looking
now.
at I didn't have anything different on. I mean, maybe it was my energy. It was different. I was different, but I was growing up. It was like, you know what I mean. I'm not the
Who's
same
this
person.
black girl that left the congregation?
Listen, gone. Bye.
Who left the plantation?
They like,
How could
what's
you disrespect
happening?
us like that?
But yeah, like I was like, I had to get out of Arkansas for a little while to see what else is available for me. But I still give back to my city.
Yeah.
I do. So I don't, at first I used to feel guilty, but I always said to myself, I'm gonna find a way to give back to them because they gave so much to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be Kiana Cole without them.
I mean, exactly.
But I also wouldn't be Kiana Cole without Howard University.
Ooh.
I truly believe that. DC has done something for me that Pine Bluff couldn't have done. And Pine Bluff has done something for me that DC can't do.
Yeah,
So,
Pine Bluff provided your foundation of
yeah,
urban
and it made me
life.
sweet as pie, and people love that.
Yeah. Oh, get them.
I'm telling you.
What they call them, was it Southern Belle? in the
Yeah,
South?
that's
Yeah, the
exactly
Southern
what
Belle?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, with a little edge, because, But
Say, don't play
I
me,
wish y'all
nigga.
could see me. You can see me on Kickin' It with Key because I make faces.
There
But
you go. YouTube,
seriously.
check her out. So teaching. It's a lot that comes with teaching.
A lot.
And for those that don't follow her, probably about, I want to say like a month ago.
Oh no.
Like a month and a half. Because she'll do a story or whatnot, but like it just be one of those one and done stories.
Yeah, I can do a little quick something, but
Yeah,
this time I
yeah.
went in.
She went all in. Like, and this is around the time I was writing a podcast up for her, and I said, okay, this is some fire. So, the teaching community, always thought to myself, like, yo, teaching sets the foundation for life.
Yeah.
And today I was thinking, I was like, why aren't teachers paid as much as doctors? Because I feel as though they both provide something. A doctor provides you to keep on living, right?
Yeah.
And a teacher provides what?
So much. I'm a freaking mom. Let me tell y'all that. And I don't have children, by the way, guys. I don't have any.
Yeah.
Like, not, from my own womb. But I take care of, and think about how your mother takes care of you. I'm talking about cleaning off things. I'm talking about putting Band-Aids, wiping up blood.
And tell me
I'm
what
talking
grade you
about
teach.
J.L. Wilson Elementary. It's in Northeast D.C.
No, what grade?
Oh, third grade.
Oh, third grade.
Third grade. But yeah. But being able to basically shape a life because you have them for so much of the day. You have them for so much of the day. Basically, I have them about 8 hours of the day. Of course, they go to music and art, and they have lunch and recess and stuff. So when they're there, they're not with us. But outside of that, I have them the majority of the day, I see many of them more than they see their actual parents.
Ooh.
So at the end of the day, one of the parents says like, you're their school mom. And I'm like, absolutely. And I've had kids call me mama before, but I make it very clear that you have a mom. I'll be something else for you, but I can't be your mama. Because you have a mama. And I don't disrespect your mama by calling me mama. I'm not your mama. But I am your motivator, your encourager, your teacher, your therapist, your I carry the load for my kids. Whatever they come in with, I have to take it as my own.
Damn.
And help them through it.
Yeah, and not to disrespect the guardians, the parents at home.
Yeah, of course.
But do you think they call you that because you're with them for so long and maybe you provide something more for them than what they are getting at home?
I think sometimes it's an accident, number one, because you're just like, I'm a woman, I'm nurturing, and then they like accidentally say like, because they ask for me like they would ask for their parents.
Yeah.
So like, for example, when you're hungry at the house, you say, Mama, can I have some food? So when we in a classroom and we getting ready to, you want to go to the restroom or you need something from the bookshelf or you need, some tissue, you might say, Mama, Miss Cole. Like, and they'll do that. But then on the other side of that is, yeah, I do think sometimes I provide more for them than, I won't say more, something different than their parent may be able to. Because they work, some of our families, we have people that work, crazy hours and they don't have like what you call a 9 to 5. It's more of a like they're working a graveyard shift of something, and they're doing the best they can, So whatever I can be for my kids, I am. But I want to always make it clear that, reverence and respect for your parents is really important. Because if anything, they gave you life.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If nothing else in this entire world, they're a blessing to you because they gave you life. Now, if there's something I can do for you that they can't at this time, I'd be happy to do it.
So how do you balance a professional personal life with students that don't come from the strongest backgrounds?
Sheesh. It's hard. Are you asking how I balance my professional and personal life?
Yeah, with the students that don't come with the strongest background.
Yeah, it's tough. I spend a lot of days coming in early and staying late. I'm gonna be honest. I've just gotten to a space this year where I took my, I took my personal growth and my personal self-care, which I talk about a lot with my friends and stuff. I took my personal self-care a lot more seriously this year. And honestly, I was forced into it. Like I just started talking about self-care and how important it was towards the end of my time at Howard. But like when I became a young professional is when I was like, oh, this is why people say that self-care is so important. This is why people say you need to take a break. This, you know what I mean? I started coming up with things of why. And then this year I was like, oh, I definitely need to pay more attention to it because I started having things happen in my personal life that I was going to have to be able to navigate in a healthy way in order to be good for my kids at work. So when all these things were happening in 2018 and beginning of 2019, I was just like, I gotta be thoughtful. Like I go to therapy. I write. I do Kicking It with Kids therapeutic for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do a lot of different things to make sure. And I've learned that some days I just need to leave school on time, not stay late. Every day you can't stay late. You got to give yourself 2 or 3 days out the week where you just leave it there.
Yeah.
Leave it there. Because the work will be there when you get tomorrow. Guess what? You'll never be done.
But what about how do you balance the work but also the student that may need you? Like you really need to take this time for yourself, but that student, you don't know if they're going to come back tomorrow or not.
You have to make a decision because sometimes it's better for you to take care of you than it is to take care of them. Because they have no teacher if you don't take care of yourself.
Ooh.
And and you learn that kind of thing the hard way.
Yeah.
Because my brother passed in August.
Damn.
Yeah. And thank you. They had to miss me for a month because I needed to be my best to come back to work. And I think that's one of those times where, you give, I don't know, what people believe, but for me, you give it to God. Sometimes you have to give these kids to God because you can't be everything to them.
Mm-hmm.
I do as much as I can do. I do the talks, the conversation. I set goals. We talk about life. I do all that.
Mentoring.
All that.
Yeah.
All of that. In addition to the academics. I'm supposed to be being paid to do the academics. Not to be honest, they don't want you to teach character. But that's what I do. I do that. And I already said that I put character over academics.
You have to.
But that's not you. Like, come on. In this world, they want you to just inject them with something that they can regurgitate on some test and nothing else. They want you to make sure they know these little math facts, so when they get on the test, they can just regurgitate them on a paper, not be able to apply them to real life, not be able to go in the grocery store and actually figure out their bill before they get to the counter. Not that kind of stuff. They don't want them to be able to do that. They don't want them to be able to do anything that they can apply for real. They want it to give them something that they can regurgitate later. That's what the mass society, I think, really wants. But what I want for my kids, my students, my loves, the babies I pour into every day, that I love and care about, like, I really want them to be better people when they leave my room. And I'm not saying they need to be like me. I want them to be thoughtful about what they say and what they do to themselves and to other people. And I feel like that makes them better.
It does.
And then when you're more thoughtful about your work too. People don't even understand. It's a process.
A domino effect.
We're thoughtful. These teachers are thoughtful. The ones I know, we are tactful. We're thoughtful. We are calculated. Because
even the uncertified ones?
no, not them. Not none of y'all. None of y'all. I won't say that though, because I know some uncertified ones that really care and are passionate. You just need to get that piece. That piece is just as critical as you being passionate, because if you don't have the skills.
Explain that to the real quick, the uncertified.
In our babies' classrooms, we're having a influx of teachers that are not necessarily fully certified. There are teachers in schools all over the country that may have a temporary certification or like have a plan to be certified, but they're not actually certified. And then you also have teachers in the school like me who went to college, went through a teacher education program under professors that are experienced, and then graduated, but also made sure that before graduation they had to be certified under whatever system that they were going to be teaching in. So having the teacher certification for the grades that you're going to teach. For me, it's first grade through sixth grade.
Oh, wow.
So I could teach any of those grades according to my certification. But there are times where, because I feel like society in America doesn't value teaching and education and bringing up the next generation in a way that makes them problem solvers, and they're desperate, because who wants to teach when y'all ain't paying nobody nothing?
True.
You know what I'm saying? The desperation and the lack of, let me find a nice way to say, the lack of care. Yeah, that's good. Lack of care and the lack of money and the desperation in teaching has caused the different systems to just almost allow almost anybody into the classroom as long as they've gone through some type of program, whether it be like Teach for America or something like that, which I despise with my whole being.
So my question is, so if we know there's a lack of money in the education system as far as you getting paid, right? Which in a sense creates
a lot more problems than they realize.
Yeah. But why do we still have people that know that's not a lot of money that goes into it, but still be lazy to get into it? You know what I'm saying? But you also have teachers
because it's a stepping stone for people.
Oh, okay.
And not like, oh, if I do this, then somebody's gonna want to hire me. No, it's like I don't really know what I'm doing right after school. So guess what I'm gonna do? Go teach. I literally have heard people make their teaching a fallback plan. It's the most disrespectful thing. It'll be people that I know, and they know how much work I put into it, and they still will be like, well, if I don't get this job, then I can teach.
What?
or they'll get a degree in like maybe like history or something, but they didn't get certified in teaching. But because they got a degree in history, they'll go teach a history class at a high school.
Yikes! I didn't know that.
You
want
to know why kids don't really like high school? They put in a bunch of people that don't really want to teach in high schools.
Oh.
They definitely doing that. But the biggest issue I have with it is not because if you're passionate about it, you really want to do it, and you around for the long run, then come on. But if you know you're doing this for a year, you got to think about the families, the communities that you're affecting. Anytime you go into teaching, you are affecting a community.
Oh, yeah.
Not just us, like one class, not just this school. You're affecting a whole community because you meet families. And then guess what? A lot of your kids have a little brother, little sister. And if you're a good teacher, guess what? They want them to be in your class. Now you got a community. Mm-hmm. I have families in the school that I've built community with, that I've known for the last 3 years that I've been at my particular school. And they are like, thank you so much. And they'll come back from whenever year and say thank you for the stuff that happened. And I'm still hugging them and saying hi. And a lot of my families have my cell phone number. That's another level because they can contact you outside of that building. Yeah.
Yeah. So it breeds my next question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance a parent to teacher relationship?
It's tough sometimes because being young, being a young woman in this field so far has been a lot of times me having to prove myself over and over again to people who have no idea what I do every day.
Even your own race, that sucks.
Oh, what? I teach my race. I teach my majority of the babies that I come in contact with every day are black babies, black and brown babies. So yeah, but but there's a level of distrust between school systems, specifically the public school system, and parents. Because they may have had a negative experience when they were in school and they hold on to that, or schools aren't always thoughtful about how they communicate with parents or something like that. It could just be anything. So you come in there and you look kind of young and they like, she ain't gonna be able to teach nobody's kid. Look at her, she like a kid. Or they assume when they first see you that you're a student, and then when they feel like you're a student, then you tell them that you're their teacher, and then they like, but then when your reputation builds itself, that's when it's those questions kind of slow down.
Third graders, yo. You're developed. You have.
But we have fifth up to fifth grade at our school. So even if they're like, the children are growing up very fast these days. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but I'm saying you just But also I know sometimes it's not I really think you're this young to be at the school. It's more so I'm going to make it clear that I think that you are too young to teach my child.
So sign of disrespect, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, I'm a professional. My job is to make sure I push the conversation towards respect. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to show you that I'm a professional. I'm still going to say, good morning. It's nice to meet you. My name is Ms. Cole. I'll be teaching third grade this year. Here are my set of values, and this is what I believe about education. Mm-hmm. And almost always, when I open my mouth and I explain what I believe about teaching, what I believe about kids, people fall right in line with respecting me. Because you can't disrespect truth.
Oh, you can't.
Because you can only hold truth down for so long, it rises.
Oh, like bread.
Shout out to Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. But it rises. And you can't so if I'm telling you and I'm passionate and I care, and you see me staying after school every day, showing up early and tutoring kids and doing Saturday school.
Calling your damn phone.
And
asking where your homework at.
Listen, and I'm helping and I'm writing notes and I'm letting you know what's going on, and I hug your baby every day and I show them I love them, and they come home happy, or they come home saying, Miss Cole she really told me I can't do that no more. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You should listen to her. Turner, you got my work speaks for itself.
Your impact.
It speaks for itself.
Long,
so I don't even, I'll be trying out here to do a little something, but
something like
you gotta sometimes you just gotta let your work speak for itself, and people usually fall in line. And a lot of times it's about their personal issues. It's not really they're mad at you. It's just like, oh, now what? It's always something at the school. It's always something, a problem. It's always, you know what I mean? It's just looking for something to not be satisfied about because the system is so messed up.
Yeah. Now, it breeds my next question of saying, with you being, well, with us being young, our generation or whatnot, it's almost in the sense of kids are having kids. So how do you come across, like, how you kind of deal with that of, like, someone the same age as you, but has a son or daughter within your in your class, but they don't understand why you may have done a certain thing to that student to maybe help them progress in life, but they don't see that, you know.
I mean,
Backlash.
I always, there's gonna be some backlash because there's gonna be a difference of opinion sometimes.
Understandable.
But I think the biggest thing is just to always let them know you're on the same team as them.
As the parent.
Yes.
Or, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We're all on the same team. I said because you love your child, I really care about your child. I just want to support them. And I was like, anything. And I always make sure before we even get to a point where you disagree with something that I did as far as behavior with your kid or something that I said or whatever, I'm supposed to build a relationship with you. See, when you build relationships with people, they tend to not be about backlash and more about questions. They'll come in with like, well, he said this happened. I just really want to hear what happened from you too. So if you come in with the intention of building a relationship with this parent or this family, a lot of times they're not going to come at you disrespectfully when you're into the year and a child may be having an issue or a problem. Because the way they deal with it may be to sock them in the chest. And I'm promoting at the school because I'm not putting my hands on these kids and we can't.
I mean, you shouldn't.
And we shouldn't. Exactly. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Can't, shouldn't, not, ever, not, just can't do it. Yeah. So when, I'm not going to tell you wrong for doing, because number one, I've never birthed a child. So I always operate from the fact that I need to learn more about the situation before I decide this parent's wrong. How dare I say that? Have you had a child you had to keep every day from beginning, birth it out of your body, or be there to tend to it like a father would, like all these different things. Like, I'm thoughtful about how I interact with my parents. So yeah, they're going to disagree with me sometimes, but almost always they come back to the table like, I can kind of see why you did that. Or I can kind of see why she or he had to meet with you to goal set and y'all had lunch together. Versus you just deciding to, send them home or, whatever. Because there's sometimes the methods have to be unorthodox in order to reach kids. Because if not, then you are, you basically can have a situation where you use the same method on every child and don't get good results.
There we go. So I've reached out to Facebook earlier today, and I was asking, I was basically telling them that, I was doing the podcast with the school teacher. So one of the questions were, are newer methods of learning just as effective as old methods?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Because it depends on what the methods are. Because I think, unfortunately, a lot of the old school teachers have this kind of idea that everything that's new is bad and everything that's old is good. And that's not true. We're living in a world where 7 and 8-year-olds bring their phones to school and can text their parents whenever they want to, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? We're living in a world where instead of coming home and kids maybe hit the books for a little bit and then go play outside for the rest of the afternoon, and then when the street lights come on, they run home. We're not living in that world anymore. We're living in a world where kids have iPads and they on YouTube all day and they want to be a YouTuber. That's their dream goal. Or they are like trying to do something technology related that we couldn't even think of 10 years ago. So we have to be like thoughtful about, are we going to like really stay with what's old, or we're going to try to see if newer methods work. But what I will say is there are some old methods that still work. And I think that what works for one child is not going to always work for the other, which is why as a teacher you have to have a large repertoire. Just like somebody that's a DJ, you got a whole bunch of types of songs. You look at the crowd and you try to figure out, okay, she's like, maybe she like Cardi B, cool, you pull it up. I'm looking at somebody else. This crowd kind of look like they might like a little more old school. Let me hit that up. Oh, it's a mixture. Maybe I'll put the Beyonce version of Before I Let Go on, because that'll hit 2 generations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to be like, you got to have a large repertoire of like skills and strategies, and you got a toolbox. You pull it. You pull out
precision. Because it's the doctor method. Like,
I'm telling you, teaching is an art. You're in the classroom like Picasso every day, painting pictures for kids so that they can understand it from different perspectives, because we have kids coming from different walks of life every day.
They gotta see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Crit.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, summertime, that's the time you turn on Big Crit though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that it's not about the battle of the old and new. It's about merging them.
So why aren't we preparing our students for the real world?
Because a lot of the people in power are not the people that were in the classroom. A lot of the people that are in power have not had the experiences with the kids that are mostly in schools.
Yeah.
And also a lot of people that are in power are not thoughtful about the process to become a teacher. We're allowing things that shouldn't be allowed. You should not, like, when I have a child, I'm going to have questions.
Oh, yeah, especially
because I know stuff. I'm going to be respectful, but I'm going to have questions because I'm going to wonder, did you put the best person in the room that you could? And are all the teachers on the site, are all the teachers qualified like they should be?
Y'all certified?
Yeah, and I'm not going to be doing that because that's just a lie. And they don't have to release that information to you either.
Oh, wow.
The teachers don't.
Yeah.
Because it's about privacy.
What about the school?
No, they don't. I don't think they have to either, because that's the HR issue. Then it becomes the HR, but that's like a whole nother thing. But
I need to know if you hiring some illegal teachers or not.
And it's not illegal. But see, they find ways for it not to be illegal, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
Because if they're on the track to getting their certification, then sometimes schools have a program for that. But the thing is, though, they're still not being supported like they should be. Like the level of support that I get is somebody who went through teacher certification program at a college and have experience with different internships and been teaching kids for however long. The type of support that I get from my administration or my, higher ups is not going to be the same as the support of a first year teacher who is not completely certified, who's still working on getting, the certification, but is eager to teach and eager to learn. And you know what I mean? Yeah. Their support should look different from mine, but unfortunately that's not always the case. A lot of times we're all getting the same support, which is the bare minimum.
Got it.
So, but I would say that's a loaded question. You're going to ask me why we not prepared. I work in one school. You know what I mean? Like, I only have impact over the one area that I'm working. The question was,
why are we not preparing our students for the real world?
What's the real world? Because the hard thing is it's ever changing, and the only thing that has been consistent in this world are two things. If you ever want to know what a city was like 50 years ago, go look at a church and go look at a school.
Oh, well, they go hand in hand because Church was the first school.
Talk about it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go if you want to know what a black community used to be like, especially in this gentrified DC. All you got to do is go look at a church and go look at a school. They're not changing churches and school because they don't really want black kids to be better and then go and do great things. Why would they want that? So we can be better than white people and then turn around and make more money, and then the whole socioeconomic thing comes to the ground? No. It's teaching, and the system is a lot deeper than people realize. That's why I'm in it. I specifically chose this area. I specifically chose the school. I specifically chose these kids because I know they deserve more.
Ooh.
So the more I learn, the more I can give them. The more I learn about how things are messed up, the more I can be a fixer.
The fixer, quicker pick her up.
Quilted, pick her up for bounty. I think I have bounty paper towels actually.
Hey,
I'm not shouting y'all out because unless y'all pay us for an ad or something.
Exactly. Damn.
So cut that out. Shoot.
Another question was, what are we doing as a nation to close the achievement gap?
Quick, nothing, but a little longer. Not enough, nowhere near. But I hate the phrase achievement gap, kind of, because it's the
comparing ourselves to though. When
it's
they talk about that.
Well, when we talk about it in the United States, we're talking about race. Everything here is based on race and money. Period. So it's on race.
But
That's the achievement gap. That's the gap. Most people, when they refer to it, and I'm wondering if this sweet person that put this question in was thinking about race. But I believe that usually when we talk about it, and when I've studied it, and when I've learned about it, it's about socioeconomic class, and it's about race. Because those are where we focus most in this country, I would say. So I would say when we think about the achievement gap, what are we doing to close it? I will say there are some great schools out there that are doing great work. There are some great districts that are trying, but I think that we have some serious updates to do on our curriculum. If back to the other question, to connect those two questions as far as getting them ready for the real world and the achievement gap, because at the end of the day, when kids graduate from high school, they're all being thrown into the same world, and we are highly segregated in this country. Our schools, my God, our churches, my God, we are not mixed up at all. And yeah, there are some schools that are not, but the reality is many of our schools are highly segregated, specifically in the South. I came from a city that was Pine Bluff that used to be very white and now is extremely black. And so my high school, Pine Bluff High School, when my mom went there, she was like one of a few black kids. When I went there was 2 white people. And all black. You know what I'm saying? That's a one generation difference.
Yeah.
We resegregated. I mean, people have, you know what I mean? So it's a historical thing. See, unfortunately, we like to look at things from right now and right now only.
We can't.
And everybody's asking him, what are we doing for this? And what are we doing for that? Well, can we look at history? Because
exactly.
Unfortunately, there's an erasure of history. We don't want to talk about how this used to be how we were in the country, because unfortunately we're still like that. We are still like that. We are still segregated.
History repeats itself.
It constantly does. And I think education is the place where it's the easiest to oppress people.
Oh, I like that.
Because if you
start going into church and all that,
if you withhold education from a group of people, if you make them illiterate, then they can't do what they need to do. So yeah.
So is that why church popping so much?
What do you mean?
Like religion and stuff?
I think
because that was, in a sense, back then, that was like really the only form of education, but it was repeated.
I don't necessarily think. I think because people needed something they needed to feel like it gets better.
Hope.
Exactly.
I need you to sell a goddamn dream.
I won't even say dream, because I don't think when I go to church I'm being sold a dream. I think that when I go to church,
the foundation of it though.
So you mean the foundation of like how it was taught to our people?
Correct.
So for me, and I have had this debate with so many people that are so pro-black that they hurt themselves. Because Lord, because you can be so into us that you can be detrimental to us. But
Exactly.
that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother podcast.
But basically, what I would say about that, and this is what I tell people all the time, is number one, there were people that were African way prior to the when these colonizers came over. They were already practicing Christianity. That's the first thing in Ethiopia.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is, I would say, and that's not to justify the fact that it was much more widespread once the white man came over.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, I do not identify or look through the lens of my God, of Christ, through the lens of what white men did to it. They perverted the religion. This is a religion of love. Like, the basis is love God, love people. Mm-hmm. That's the basis. And for God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son. That's the basis. So you mean to tell me the same Christ that I worship is the one that y'all use to oppress my people? No. But I do know that in my life, I know that suffering is allowed sometimes. And people find God in it. We all gotta suffer. Yeah. So, because I could easily be like, I ain't gonna go to church no more because I got lupus. My brother just died. Then I lost 3 other people right after that. God don't love me. But I don't believe that. Mm. He uses my suffering to wake me up sometimes, unfortunately. Because I can be very, like I said, within myself.
Okay, gotcha.
He uses it to wake you up sometimes. Sometimes he uses it so that you can use your testimony to help somebody else. I have used my testimony of grief to support other people who are grieving. I would have never known grief had he not taken the closest person. Ooh. Outside of my mom, my sister, and my daddy, and my grandfather. Had he not snatched him, I could still be doing, you know what I'm saying? I was loving God before that, but I love him more now because I can smile. I was in a dark place when my brother passed. Yeah. But I'm better. I'm getting better slowly. So I just feel like people, I sometimes feel like people they want to use anything as an excuse not to do what they've been called to do. Like not to go to church. They don't feel like it. Mm. Just say you don't feel like it. Don't use that every time, because I don't believe that is anywhere the intention of what God wanted for us as a people. But sometimes things are allowed. And we don't always have an answer for it because his understanding is not ours. So he has the bigger picture. I don't have the picture that God has. I don't want it. If I saw everything that people in the world were doing, I see enough from TV. Mm. I don't want nothing else. Yeah. But back to your original point, I don't know if that's why people went into. I think people went into the church for hope, and I think that was the only place they felt fully accepted, fully themselves, because that was the only time that they could just be black with each other. Yeah. Versus, all these other things, even through segregation. Like, y'all, the most segregated hour, and I think Malcolm X said this, the most segregated hour in the world is like 11 o'clock because that's what time everybody going to church.
I think it's actually Malcolm X Day, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it really?
I believe so.
Look at us.
Hold on. What is it?
Poetic justice here.
They call it holy divine or some shit like that.
But yeah, so.
Malcolm X Day. It's crazy because I was looking at one of your videos, and yeah, May 19th. Yeah, Malcolm X Day takes place on May 19th.
It's already May 19th?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Malcolm X Day is an American holiday in honor of civil rights leader Malcolm X, which is celebrated either on May 19th, Malcolm's birthday, or the third Sunday of the month. Okay. May. Yeah.
We'll look at that.
Damn. You said something earlier. I completely.
Literally. You're going to have to have me back. Because you got lots to grow.
I don't know, because I was looking at when we was talking about God and stuff like that. You said something, and I was looking at one of your videos, like when I was writing this podcast up. You was like, you can pray to God, but don't listen for his response. And I was like, yo. That's very deep. That is very
I don't
deep.
even remember saying that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's very deep. I don't know.
I don't even know what in context with. I don't even know what I said. When? How did I? What was I talking about?
I don't even know. Like, it was
I
just
know.
one of the videos, and it was like, yeah, you can pray to God, but don't listen for his response. And I was like,
He gonna be quiet sometimes.
yeah,
On purpose.
I mean, but the thing, what I got from it was, like, he'll say something, like, you could pray and he'll respond, but, like, you'll just be like, well, I prayed, and I'm gonna just go about my way.
Yeah, you gotta be ready to listen.
Like, you could basically block your blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
You gotta be ready to listen. It's hard, and you gotta be quiet sometimes. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
you
hard
do.
for me.
Yeah,
It's hard for me.
because I'm in the middle of like transitioning between. Because I know we totally off topic right now.
Totally
but,
out. They're gonna be like, what were they really supposed to talk about today?
Yeah,
Because
I got one more question, but
Yeah.
basically, I'm in the middle of transitioning between military branches, and it's like, yo,
Yeah.
I was told this month, I was told a certain time frame, so this time frame hit, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, why I'm not
Right,
out there
right.
yet? And then I go back, oh well, we gotta wait on this, and I'm like, okay,
It's always something.
what's going on? Then I gotta wait on this. Then I was talking to I was talking to my grandfather, but a couple days before I was talking to him, I was like, man, I always wound up putting myself in like certain positions, and they always wound up working out for me. So I think that what I'm going through in life right now, as far as like maybe talking with people, networking with you, and networking with other people, it's going to explode, but I just don't know how yet.
Yeah. It's so funny because one of my friends texted me, and I'm not gonna say her name because I don't know if she want me to know how like she's so deep. And so she like basically randomly texted me and said I caught up on some episodes, and she said, and she's one of those people that she'll speak a word over you and just disappear again. Like, it's really great.
Yeah.
She just does it, and then she says it, and it comes out of nowhere. So it's like, I know God gave it to you, but I'm just like, wow. But she was like, yeah, you like, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but what you're doing is going to make you well known and make you like people are going to tune in. They're gonna tune in large numbers. Like, you're gonna like she's like saying this to me via text.
Yeah.
She's like, because you are a light, like you have the perfect personality for this job. You could do it. Like she's just going in for like a page on a text, and I'm like, oh wow.
Teary-eyed and everything.
I'm looking at the phone like, wow, like, because sometimes you can feel like what you're doing is just like, are people listening to it? Like, do people care?
Yeah, that's how I feel about this podcast.
You put it out there and you're like, is anybody gonna watch it? I put all this work into it. Is anybody really looking? Like, you know what I mean? Are people going? Is this too long? Do I even have their attention span for this long?
Yeah.
But I've just learned that things fall into place the way they're supposed to, especially when you do your part.
And what I've learned by doing this podcast, and what you probably learned or you will learn, is that crazy part is people won't tell me via Instagram, social media. People tell me to my face.
Yeah.
And I just find that so...
Do you feel awkward when they do it?
Yeah, I'm like,
man. Man.
Like, I know you listen
when
to
I'm
me.
talking about from every age group, too. From every age group.
Yeah.
People that are, around my mom's age, like they're in their 50s. And they're like, oh, when are you putting that on another episode? I was like, I do it every other Sunday. Oh, yeah, I like the one about, and I'm like, thanks. You know what I'm saying? Or like, keep doing what you're doing, or like something random. Or like when I went on that break, I went on a little hiatus, and I was like, yeah, I need some time.
You need solitude.
Yeah, I needed it. And I actually saw people around that were like, yeah, like when are we returning? Like, what's the plan for that? Because I want to know. Then one of my friends texted me the other day. Was like, oh, I'm binge watching this weekend. I'm like, yes, binge watch. Like, I'm a TV show. I'm like, I'm just like, it's surprising.
Same here. It was
surprising.
Like, yeah, I listened to your last podcast. I was like,
thanks.
I ain't even promote it.
Right.
I didn't promote it because my thing now is just, well, I'll tell you my thing later.
Yeah. Tell me later.
They kind of get true numbers. It's an experiment, but
I feel you.
Yeah.
I ain't in that place yet. I'm going to promote my behind off. What do you mean?
It's a method to the madness.
Oh, I know. I believe you.
The Virgo in me, of course. But
Aries wouldn't know about that.
I know everybody listening like, yo, what the hell they talk about now? But yo, hopefully the way we went off way left field, it
Everything
inspired you.
happens for a reason.
Exactly. It does. But one of the last questions about teaching is, this is like 3 questions in itself.
Okay.
So how do you want me to?
I don't know.
Do you want to read it first?
Yeah, let me read it.
Why don't you read it? It's the last question.
How is critical thinking implemented in your lesson plans? Okay, girl, you might know something. What are the most common barriers you see to academic progress in your classroom, and how do you see the role of the teacher in the learning process? Let me start with what are the most common barriers. Unfortunately, a lot of kids don't want to come to school.
Damn.
They don't like school already. And it's like they already act like high school students. Like the behavior of like the aura of like a middle school or a high school student, they already got that.
In the 3rd grade?
They're very, it's not maturity though. It's like, I hate this phrase, but I can't think of anything like grown. Like I can do what I want to do, but it's because there are no real deal logical supportive consequences for kids when they decide to do the opposite of what you ask them to do. You only can do so much in your classroom. Like our goal set, we talk during lunch, or we might talk during recess to support them. I might meet with them after school. We might have a parent meeting. They might just have to step out of the room and go take a break with another teacher so they can just calm down. They write apology letters to each other when they mess up. They shake hands. They have 4 steps to solving problems. They have, you know what I mean? They have all these things that we put in place. But once it's beyond my control, once they become like violent or like a danger to themselves or other kids, then I have to involve like administration. And unfortunately, like our systems aren't set up to. Yikes! I'm still a teacher. I'm not trying to lose my job, but they're not. Every school is like anyone that's in a public school system. It's not set up to where kids will be rehabilitated properly into their classroom environment if they're asked to leave for being a danger to themselves. So, for example, if you have to like ask for behavior support in our building or whatever, then they come and try to talk to the baby. They pull them to the side. They might go take them to their office and talk to them about what's going on. There has to be a process by which you restore them into their class community. And me, like a lot of people that I run with in the teaching world, we believe in restorative practices, but everybody doesn't implement them outside of our classroom in any building. So once it leaves my room, I have no control over what exactly happens beyond that point, because I took my steps as a teacher to do the right thing for my baby. And then the next step is like, now I need administrative support. Help my child not hit people at school. Help my student do that. So I can teach kids in class, because I can't run after this student to go figure out all these issues during my class time when I have 20 other kids sitting on the floor on a carpet ready to learn.
What's the average amount of students you teach?
It can be up to 25.
Okay.
I have about 18 kids this year. In my first class, I teach 2 sets of kids, and then about 19, 20 in my second. Okay. So it just depends on the year.
That's a lot of first and last names you gotta remember.
Honestly, in the first week of school, you just are repeating and trying them and make a game out of it. Like if I get it right, then you get an incentive. Yeah. I mean, if I'm wrong, you get an incentive. If I'm correct, then I get celebrated. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
I'm like, hey, what's their name?
Right. It makes me learn it faster because I really want them to be excited that I know it. Because when I know it, they get so excited because we're like, yes, we finally, like, Miss Cole made it around the whole class. She knows all the names. And they're like, oh, your memory's so great. And they're like supporting me, and learning their names. The other question was, how is critical thinking implemented in your lesson plans? For me, like, I throw very wild, random things into lessons, songs, dances, all kinds of stuff that I think will keep their attention. But then I also allow them to tell me what they like to see. Yeah. But the curriculum is kind of suffocating sometimes because you do have things you have to cover. And there, you don't have to cover it exactly like this or exactly like that. But there are ways that they're going to see the information again. And you want them not to be surprised because when they get the information, unfortunately, on an exam or a test, they can't do a backflip to show you that they understand it. They can't put on a play because we've done that in my class. They can't, you know what I mean? And then, so that and creativity actually promotes critical thinking. I don't know if a lot of people know that. The funny thing is, like, satire is like a really high form of intellectual, like, basically intellectualism. So if you're able to, like, understand satire, like in a book, then that shows that, like, you have high intellect.
Oh, wow.
And so with critical thinking, it's like, I have questions that build. So you might start with something that's like more of a basic question. It's about like Bloom's taxonomy, which is like this thought process that you put together as a, when you're doing your questions and stuff. So it's about probing questions and like building your questions on the next thing. It's like building blocks.
Okay, got you.
So for kids that get it right away, you might throw the highest level question at them first. But for a child that needs a little setup, when you basically going up for the alley-oop, you need some support. You might be
I need that alley-oop.
You know what I'm saying? You might need like a little assistance. So when you need a little assistance, then I'm gonna provide that to you through a series of questions or a series of steps or a graphic organizer. It just depends on the individual kid.
Yeah,
so.
I need that setup. So one of my questions before you read the last question,
Yeah.
one of my things for you is from the teaching. What is it? The teaching curriculum and your freedom. What's the margin of that?
I want to say it really depends on the school because you have coaches that coach you in your teaching practices, which is something that I really want to do for teachers. By the way, that's something I really think I think I would be good at it just because I think that's so important to have a really good coach to support you in your process of planning and supporting your kids. But that's a really gray area, to be honest, because it's open to interpretation for real, in my opinion. Because you could say, like, you know what I mean? You have this curriculum. The curriculum doesn't tell you exactly how to teach it. So a lot of times the curriculum provides you with a scope and sequence, like the standards, the things that you know that you need to cover. Some questions you could ask, like things like that. But it doesn't say, this is not your lesson plan. You write your lesson plan.
Oh, wow.
So when it comes to that's what makes it so difficult. Like, it's not an easy job because I already know the other question. I memorized.
Oh, no, you good? Oh, I gave you the code.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's one of those things. It's like some teachers are more like, I'm, going exactly by everything, and then some are more like, well, let me find a way to make this fit my kids.
Yeah.
And so, but to me, if you can back up that it works for your students, nobody should have anything to say to you.
Got it.
Even if it's not exactly what the curriculum says you should do, because at the end of the day, you're an expert of your classroom. Because you're the one that's in there every day. You're the one that's known these kids all year. Now, I'm not saying be reckless, because these are babies that are important to this world. So if you get in there and say, we're just going to read some books. I read out loud. Y'all just sit there all day long. And that's not how the world works.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings me into that, like, critical thinking question. Like, they have to do the work.
Yeah.
So if the whole time you're talking, the whole class, they didn't do anything. If you're exhausted, you should be exhausted because you do this exhausting job. But if you like find yourself exhausted to the point where you can't say another word, it's probably because you're doing the heavy lifting and they're doing none. Your job, and that was the last question, is to be able to be a facilitator of learning.
Reread the last
She
question.
said, what is the teacher's role in the learning process?
Oh.
And basically, I feel like our role is to help kids become thinkers and be able to solve the world's problems. But I also think that our role is to facilitate the best possible learning experience for kids. And facilitation and teaching, the facilitation of teaching is extremely important. Like, if you are the type of teacher that only allows kids to speak, like, very rarely in the classroom, they're not learning as much as they should be. Kids should have the ability to have conversations. They should be writing. They should be reading. They should be creating all in the same class almost every day. If they haven't read something, written something, possibly created something, and had a conversation, then you didn't hit everything you probably could have hit in that class period. Because speaking and listening standards are extremely important. They have to be able to have conversations and have intelligent conversations where they can collaborate and discuss amongst themselves, peer to peer, peer to teacher. All of that's important.
Yeah.
For life. Like it is communication is a underrated skill. People do not understand how important communication is.
Well, I think it depends on what aspect. I think understanding may be an underrated skill.
I think I can agree with that.
Yeah, because we all communicate.
But I think no.
Well, I think it's
effective communication.
There we go. Okay, I agree
there we
with
go.
That one. Yeah,
I was like, do we all communicate? Effective communication.
Effective communication, but also effective and clear understanding.
I think understanding is critical too. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you don't listen to understand, then you didn't listen.
Like genuinely, like not to understand the blurt back something back. It's like, yo, okay, let me put myself in their shoes.
Right.
Of like actually.
Now you're talking about sympathizing and being able to tap into new empathy and like, nah, people don't want to do that.
No, they don't.
That's hard work. That's hard work.
I mean, I'm learning, but you know it is.
It's a process.
Maybe 2 more questions. Is it hard being a natural hair teacher within the education system?
Actually, I don't think it's that difficult.
Is it because you're within the
Black community?
Yeah,
absolutely. my kids love it. Like my girls are like, oh, I got a bush today too. It's called it's cute.
Yeah,
it's not hard at all. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not a minority in my building.
True. How many minorities do you have in your building?
I
mean, you don't gotta give an exact number, but do you have some? A handful?
Well, I mean, I would say kids of other races would be the minority, yeah. So,
but not teachers?
You talking about educators in the building. We have, I don't know what the number is, but I would say
is it a handful though?
Probably.
Okay, got it.
Probably.
Do y'all sing
on the upper floors though? Okay. Like the upper floors, we have more. It's more just mostly Black. But then on the lower floors, we have like the younger teachers are not younger teachers, but the teachers who teach younger grades. We more have a little bit more diversity in color and stuff.
Got you. So speaking of other teachers, my final question. I want to give a shout out to all y'all for listening to the podcast thus far. We dropping fire.
Really are. So if you need to listen to it in segments, do what you need to do.
1 hour and 47 minutes. How do you go about supporting fellow teachers? Because I know it's hard. Like, y'all got to come out y'all own pockets to school supplies.
Yeah.
Mentorship. So it's like this is almost like a two question thing. So it's like, supporting fellow teachers, but also who does the go to?
Ooh. Well, let me talk about supporting fellow teachers.
You said it on one of your episodes. You said it during your rant.
Yeah, I know. Like who supports the supporter?
Yeah.
Who loves the lover? Like, yeah. So I would say, like, as far as supporting teachers, my role is always to, number one, build relationships with people that I feel like really care about kids and do my best to support them so that they're able to stay in this job.
Even the uncertified teachers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if I can support you to make you a better teacher for these kids, because regardless of how I feel about you being uncertified, you are talking and working with babies that are going to affect the future. So they're my priority. I'm a kid-centered person. So if it helps kids, if you're going to be good for kids, then I'm not going to be annoyed by you not having your certification if you are getting the support you need to make sure you're good for kids. Now, do I prefer it? No, because I feel like you should go through the proper channels to do everything you can to be ready for these kids. But I, to be honest, I check in on a lot of, people in my hall or people in my building that I feel like I've identified with. We get each other, and they've supported me on both ends. We do it back and forth. So I think it's about reciprocity. Like when you need support, I support you.
Ooh.
When you support me,
I just learned that word
Then-
like a couple days ago.
when I need, something, you're here for me as well. And I feel like I have reciprocity with teachers that I come in contact with regularly. I think it also has something to do with having a teacher community.
Reciprocity.
Wow. You like
Sorry
that
for
word?
cutting you off.
No, it's
I couldn't pronounce it the last episode, so that's why
you got it now, though.
Reciprocity.
Oh, you just gonna keep saying it?
Yep. Hey,
He said reciprocity.
there we go.
But yeah, so I mean, we do what we can for each other. It's very, very difficult sometimes, but sometimes you just need to go in the room of another teacher and close the door, and say, "Hey, girl, sir, anybody, I'm about to. No, I can't." And they're like, "Okay, what happened?" They'll sit down and talk to you, all of that, or you might go in there and cry. It just depends. It depends on the day. It depends on what's going on. Or you just may need to like vent and get it out, and then after that you're fine. Like it just depends on what you need. But I really do my best to check in. Like if I see like one of my fellow teachers is not there that day, and I haven't heard anything from them, because usually we hit each other up and say, "Hey, I have a doctor's appointment," or "Hey, I have a whatever." Especially if we work on a team with them, and they'll, if I don't hear anything and I don't see you, then I know I'm calling you or I'm texting you. And for some of them, if we close like that, I'm coming to your house.
Ooh, pull up, game strong.
So, because you build relationships, those, you end up making friends.
Yeah,
And
family. Yeah.
No, you're right. Because I actually called one of my teacher friends' sister. Partially because we look alike. But, yeah, like
Hey,
I actually call her
fellas.
sister.
Hey, we taking a picture so y'all see her.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm available, so it is what it is.
turn out she
It is what it
available.
is. But that's not what we're talking about today.
Slide her DMs.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna plug you all the way. But yeah, and then the question about who does the go-to person go to? That's tough. That's why I think you have to have a firm foundation in something. I don't, no matter what you choose to believe, like you have to have a firm foundation. You have to have a core group of friends that you can go to about your stuff. And then also you need to get to a point where you are okay with being alone. Like okay with being
Solitude.
Yes, that solitude is
Biggest
critical.
thing that we don't
Because-
have in our generation now.
Because sometimes, the go-to person doesn't have anybody to go to. So what you gonna do now?
I mean, sometimes I believe you got to go to yourself.
Exactly. What do you do now? And so I write. You know what I mean? I did yoga for a little bit of time. Like I said, I go to therapy. Like it's lots of different things that I do to make sure that I support myself and support other people. That's really it, honestly. Yeah.
Hey, I sense a lot of B. Simone.
I do that sometimes. It's funny.
I've been sensing
Keeps
that
keeps people on their toes. They're like, "Oh, I think I've heard that before." You have. Now go check out my YouTube channel. See what I'm saying? You gotta be ready. Plug it in there.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
Let
I
me
felt
stop.
that. I felt it early in the podcast, and then
I just think like that voice is literally so funny to me. Like it's just so much. I'm like, why are you doing that? But it's funny.
God, man.
But yeah.
I don't think I have any more questions.
That's because I'm like a pro at answering questions. That's why.
Dopeness. Teaches third grade from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Can you announce what school you teach at?
J.O. Wilson Elementary School.
J.O. Wilson?
J.O. Wilson
J.O.
Elementary School.
Wilson
Yeah.
Elementary School. Okay, shout out to them.
Yes.
Damn, man. This is very dope. Like, you literally answered everything for me
Great.
that I needed.
I did my best.
And we talked about some other stuff. But
Always.
yeah, teacher appreciation. Y'all had y'all week, about 2 weeks ago? I really
Yeah,
think it
about
should-
2 weeks ago. The
I
same
believe-
week I got these wisdom teeth pulled.
Ooh, it was light. I sent you the thing about the Chipotle thing. I don't think
Yeah,
you
I
coulda
couldn't do
had
it. And every year I usually do it.
Oh,
And
for real?
Chick-fil-A too.
Okay.
But I couldn't do it this year.
That sucks.
They told me I couldn't have rice. And who gonna get Chipotle without rice? Not me.
Yeah. Last question to close this out. I know I keep on saying last question, but what would be a advice for an upcoming teacher? Teaching in the, because this is very specific.
Yeah,
Teaching in the black community
that's a great
or
question.
the inner city community.
Yeah.
Because you can have
Yeah.
more disenfranchised Caucasian people.
I would say my advice is
Or any other races. Yeah.
my advice is to, do as much as you can to prepare for the job. As far as like, I always keep literature about kids and students and teaching around me. I kept most of my books from college about teaching. Any teaching class that I had, I kept it around. So it's good to build your literature to have enough, because actually I'm literally looking at one of my books called Artful Teaching, because all of those you take bits and pieces to build the type of teacher that you want to be. That's the first thing. I think I got 3. The second thing I would say is you have to have your theory of teaching. What is your theory of it, of what you think teaching is supposed to be?
Philosophy, right?
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I really was looking for.
You answered another
Bless
question.
your heart. So my philosophy.
That's what they say to great grandmother say to kids that look ugly, right? Bless your heart.
It's a southern like thing. I say it to everybody. People like, are you being mean? I'm like, no, I'm not. But it can be used to be mean too.
Yeah.
My philosophy of teaching is like every child can learn. Like every child can learn if given the proper support.
Tools.
Yeah, proper support. Yeah. Every child can learn. Now, what that looks like might look different on every kid. It should look different because they're different people. But every child can learn. And then the third thing I would say is self-care is going to be the most important thing in your job. And it's going to sound really selfish. But if you are not selfish at some point in your career of teaching, you won't last. And it's because you can't teach kids if you are not okay. You can go into the classroom, but you will not be effective. If you're not okay, you won't be effective. You got to be okay.
Do you plan on teaching to retire or?
I'm so open. I am not leaving education. I'll tell you that much. What I will say is, I think one of my biggest goals is to find better ways to support teachers and find better ways to infuse social justice into learning for kids. Because I think that is a tool that many of our kids are going to need in the near future to get rid of some of the foolishness that is happening in our country. So that might make me may not end up being the biggest fan of me after I get done doing that. But that's my goal, one of my goals. And to also change policy in education for kids and especially communities of color. But yeah. So that's the advice that I would give. And Godspeed. You can do it. It's a doable job, but it is a taxing job. But it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
You'll have days where you get chill bumps because of what a child said. And then you have days where you feel the hot rage come through your face because you care so much about this child and they're making the same mistake all over again. So find that balance. You got to fall somewhere in the middle. You don't return their energy, though. No matter how mad they get, you can't return it.
Yeah, you can't keep that same energy, even though that's like.
I know people. Yeah, I was
you can't keep that same energy on this note.
I was like, listen, okay, but yeah, that's what I would say.
Damn, that's dope. I also want to shout out to Nicole Hall, guidance counselor. She is a guidance counselor. I don't know the school, but it's DeKalb County in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
she's a guidance counselor out there. Then I also want to shout out to one of my homeboys, Johnny. I know he's a coach at, I want to say Doty County High School in Albany, Georgia.
Nice.
I want to say you're a math teacher or a history teacher. I'll just say a teacher. Just say he's a teacher at Doty County High School. And then also want to shout you out.
Thank you.
Kiana Cole for teaching.
That's me.
setting the foundation for our young youth.
I do my best. I do.
It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It starts with a U. Not undermining,
Undervalued.
undervalued.
There you go. That's it.
It's an undervalued occupation, and I don't see why it is, because it sets the foundation for life for people.
You know, there are lots of things I don't have answers to.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
that's life. But hopefully, maybe this podcast may change.
you never know. Honestly.
Change.
They might take a clip from what we talked about and be like, have you heard of this unpredictable? Have you heard of it? Do you know what they're talking about here? Well, we feel like we'll be on the news.
Exactly. Then we just gotta talk that shit, and I'm like, all right, cool. What's up?
They were talking today, and I was just like, wow, I didn't even know teachers dealt with that.
Exactly. It's so much trauma that teachers deal with.
Yeah.
That I feel as though that society doesn't realize. It's
No, I
because-
do.
Oh, I'm about to go on this whole rant.
Nope, don't do it, because you already said that
I
was
don't
the
care at
last
this point.
question.
No. It's not even a question. I just feel as though it's like you said earlier, is that, a student is at your job in a sense. Is in a classroom or at school for 8 hours a day. So take 8 hours of that day and then put. Basically, I'm trying to say is that society raises our kids and our parents don't. I feel as though parents, realistically, all those that do, they kind of just reinforce values. At the end of the day, they set and reinforce values. Society, and that's very, very vague when I say society.
A lot of things can fall under that umbrella.
Yeah, so society raises our kids.
Whew.
So
That's a
we
statement.
Yeah, I mean, it is a statement. I mean, goddamn, the doctor, you see the doctor once, maybe twice a year. I'm not saying you, but
right,
just somebody in general, they probably see him once every couple years, and they get paid all this bread. But,
man, I'm talking about they get you out of that room fast.
But a teacher gets paid low to low, but you got to see them
super low
every goddamn day except for 3 months out the summer, unless you're in India, is all year round. I don't know.
Listen. Yeah, I'm doing some raising. I'm not gonna lie. I raise kids.
Yeah, you're raising society. You're raising the future. Imagine, okay, LeBron James, right? All his bread. LeBron, Kevin Hart, Beyonce.
Yeah.
Her teachers in life. In the education system. You can't tell me that none of them had some type of
impact.
Yeah.
They definitely did.
But I don't know. That's just me.
I appreciate that. Because a lot of people outside of the classroom don't understand that fact. Yeah. That we do a lot of work. I wouldn't even say I don't know if I would go as far as to say society's raising kids. Well, I will say I do a lot of help with raising. I do my best.
Mentoring.
All of that. Yeah, I do my best. Mentorship, love, support, hugs, all that.
Hugs, kisses. You may, the hug that you give to a student, that student may not have had a hug.
That's always a possibility. It's always a possibility. That's why you got to be aware. You got to be ready.
And that last hug that they probably had was from you when you hugged them 2 weeks ago.
You really never know, and so you must operate in this profession that, like that. You must operate like you are super important. You got to operate, and you got to be careful with that power.
That's very demanding.
It's a level of power.
That's crazy. It's just, I could just go on about this, but it's just crazy. Shout out your social media. Instagram,
I would love
YouTube,
to. I would love to.
Where they can find you at.
Hey everybody. You can find me on. It's funny because some of my Instagram stuff is so like basic because it's like I like my name. So, my personal page on Instagram is at Kiana_Cole KIANA_COLE. You can find me on Twitter at divinely_key. You can also find me on Facebook at Kiana Cole. And my page for Kicking It with Key, which is an awesome YouTube, has awesome YouTube episodes about life, about transparency, about everything.
Exactly.
It evokes a lot of joy into your hearts. You can find me on at Kicking It with Key _ on Instagram, and you can also find Kicking It with Key on Facebook as well. Yeah. And if you look me up on YouTube, Kiana Cole, Kicking It with Key will pop up so fast. So check me out.
Make sure y'all subscribe, share, like, comment.
Yeah. It's a
Hey,
good time.
I'm on there. I subscribe. Why haven't
It's
you?
true. Listen, don't make us have to come find you and help you do it. Just do it. It's not hard.
Exactly. It's not
Do what you know is right.
But now, make sure you check out the Unpredictable Thoughts _@ Unpredictable Thoughts
Yes.
on IG, and then you could also check us out on Facebook at Unpredictable Thoughts 2. I know I can't get the Unpredictable Thoughts regularly, like somebody else has
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Somebody had Kicking It with Key. I had to put an underscore. I was like, what are y'all doing?
exactly.
And then I went to find a page and it wasn't anything.
Like
It
bitch,
was
you
like
didn't even
blank.
Use it.
Deleted.
Exactly. So I can fucking use it.
It's okay. We
Yeah.
gonna use our underscores and our numbers.
Exactly. Like I said earlier, for Lupus Awareness Month, make sure for any support as far as the merchandise, you will get a Lupus Awareness pin, and then at the end of the month, I will be supporting to the Lupus Awareness Foundation. So check this out.
Yes.
But thank you for listening to another episode of Unpredictable Thoughts Podcast. Your boy Trouble's in the building.
And you know, Kiana Cole.
Hey, peace.